there's this event called Parkrun. Do you know Parkrun? I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what Parkrun was before learning about this recent news article, because I don't keep up to date with anything sporting. The only sports news I ever get is stuff that is directly related to sort of like trans and queer issues. That's the only stuff I get. If it's not anything to do with that, it misses my desk. The memo misses me completely. I'll tell you how much I hate sports. This is how much I hate sports. You know when you're reading a newspaper? Sorry, I always forget a lot of my audience is young. A newspaper, it's like a website, but it's on a piece of paper, like printed. And then, yeah, we used to throw them away. It's crazy. Or line hamster cages with them. Anyway, basically, this is how much I dislike sports, okay? In the newspaper, there's a lengthy sports section usually, like loads of pages. I can flick past the sports section in a newspaper so quickly that, ironically, if they made that a sport, who can flick through the sports section of a newspaper the fastest, I would win. I would get gold for that. That's the irony of it. Anyway, Parkrun is basically a running event, okay? It's a running event. They do them all over the place. As I looked on their website, they do them in loads of countries. It's like a community kind of like good health, encourages good health. They describe themselves as Parkrun is a free community event where you can walk, jog, run, volunteer, or spectate even. Parkrun is 5k and takes place every Saturday morning.
It can be great for our health and do wonders for our fitness. At first, I just thought it was a way of getting my steps in, but the more walking I did, I realised how beneficial it actually was. It even helped me to connect with those closest to me, even my dog Lenny. That's why Park Walk is so great. Parkrun welcomes and encourages people from all walks of life to enjoy Park Walk.
So, it's not competitive. That's something that I have to really, really, really signpost. This is just a nice community event. You sign up, you do a 5k, you make some friends, you feel good about yourself. That's basically it. That's the point of it, okay? But I saw in the reputable online newspaper, Pink News, where I get all my news about the pop singer Pink, they said, a Labour MP has criticised Parkrun for being trans-inclusive, following the Supreme Court's controversial gender ruling and the Prime Minister's comments that organisations should get on with barring trans women from female events. Now, I know it's not a big surprise to anybody to hear that a Labour MP is anti-trans. I mean, we used to think, oh wow, Labour, they're kind of on our side. But now they've lost all credibility in that department. It's no big shock that it's a Labour MP, but what is a big shock is that this person is obviously so dumb that they don't even realise that this event is non-competitive. Jonathan Hinder, who has been the MP for Pendle and Clitheroe in Lancashire since 2024, made the comments on Thursday. Here's a clip.
He will know, of course, that national governing bodies set their own policies for who can participate in domestic competition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. More than 2 months after the Supreme Court clarified the law, there remains a very long list of sporting bodies which are denying fairness to women and girls. This includes Parkrun and, remarkably, sports like weightlifting and wrestling. The mind boggles. Does she agree that there is no need to wait for further guidance and that these bodies should take the advice of the Prime Minister and get on with it?
So as you can see, this guy is a big, dumb, bald dummy. Okay, now listen, I've got nothing against bald people. Okay, in fact, actually, my dad is bald. Okay, so I can't be prejudiced against bald people because I've got a bald dad. That being said, if you are an annoying idiot, being bald doesn't help. It really doesn't. Really, really doesn't. It kind of like heightens how stupid you seem. And this guy, what's his name? Jonathan Hinder, who, I tell you what, the only thing he's hindering is, imagine I'm on, what's it called? Have I Got News For You? Imagine I'm on Have I Got News For You. Jonathan Hinder, the only thing he's hindering is his chances to become higher up in the Labour Party because of his dumb, bald head and stupid views. It says here that Parkrun has previously been attacked by anti-trans groups because it allows people to self-identify their gender when signing up. Oh my God. No. What's going to happen? No, you can't do that. You can't fun run. You know fun runs, right? A lot of people do fun runs dressed as like Mr. Blobby. Or they do a fun run like dressed up as a car or, people dress up for them. Half the time you don't even know who is doing the fun run because they're dressed like a giant chicken. Like their gender is the last thing you should even be thinking about. It's ridiculous. So what you're telling me is a big, giant, quite intimidating, scary chicken can run a fun run, but trans people can't. Okay, well listen, I was so annoyed about this. It really got my goat. And it got me quite concerned, because although I don't want to participate in any kind of sports now or for the foreseeable future, what if one day I get ill or something and the doctor says to me, you have to do some sort of sport, otherwise you're going to die? What if I ever am in that position? Like, if I'm ever in that position, then possibly I might want to do Parkrun because it does seem like quite a lackadaisical option. So, this Jonathan Hinder, more like Jonathan Hindley, am I right? Who's your mum? Myra Hindley? The killer? The famous child killer? Come on. I thought, well, because he's an MP, his information is publicly available. You're allowed to email MPs. I thought I'll give him an email with my concerns. And I did. This is the email that I sent Jonathan Hinder, MP. Hi, Jonathan. I hope you're having a good Monday. It was on a Monday. I wonder if you can help me. I hope you don't mind me getting in touch, but I'm a trans woman. Sorry. And I was thinking of entering the Parkrun. However, I saw that you didn't agree with it. Don't worry, I've decided not to participate, as it would be massively unfair for me to be around other members of society in my current predicament. Trans. Again, I'm sorry. That being said, I did have a few other ideas for potential activities and just wanted to run them by you to get the green light first, considering I'm a trans woman and all. I'm so sorry. Number 1, bingo. I know there might be some argument that as a trans woman, I'm able to press down the bingo marker slightly harder than your average player. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable with my presence. Number 2, bowling. Again, I know unfair advantage is a concern of yours, so I would be willing to allow cis women to play with the sides up, and I'll keep the gutters open for myself. Or number 3, Mousetrap, the board game. I know a lot of women are scared of mice and will jump on a chair and shout, "Eek, a mouse!" But as a trans woman, I actually don't have that fear. So I just wanted to check in and make sure that it's okay with you before I go ahead and join any ladies' mousetrap clubs. Anyway, I appreciate you're probably quite busy, what with protecting women and girls in sports, but I'd appreciate whatever guidance you can give me. Best regards, Jen. And, that was over a week ago. I have not heard anything back. I've had no response from Jonathan Hinder MP, which I think is, well, above anything rude. If you're going to gallivant around with that bald head in Parliament, saying what you're saying, you can at least have the common decency to respond to a concerned trans sportswoman, potential sportswoman. Now, here's a slight ultimatum to Jonathan Hinder. If you are watching this, Jonathan Hinder, I know you're a fan. If you don't respond to me I'm going to give you one more week, then, and this isn't a threat, it's a promise, I will email Parkrun and petition to have you banned from it under the grounds that your head, as shiny and bald as it is, would be a dangerous distraction to the other runners and could cause accidents. And that would definitely be unfair. And I'm not kidding, I'll do it. You got 1 week. All you gotta do is reply to my email. That's it. You don't have to, doesn't have to be pro or against. You just have to give me a reply. Show me you're a human being, or else you're gonna get banned from Parkrun probably. I mean, look, the reason why this rubbed me the wrong way, right, is because it's very clear, like it very eloquently shows that a lot of these people, these gender critical types, they don't actually care about fairness or competition or the rights of women and girls. They're just blowhards. They're just pandering to the lowest common denominator, and all they really care about, really, at the end of the day, right, is making an environment in which trans people feel socially excluded, because that's all this does. You know, it's a non-competitive thing. It's all about good health, and it's about societal inclusion and, you know, making friends, whatever. And they're trying to make us feel like we are not allowed to participate in stuff like that. And you might say, well, not really. They're just saying that you can't register as a woman. And it's like, yeah, but you don't understand. That is a part of it. That is a huge part of it. You know that is important for trans people. You know what we care about. You know what our whole deal is. If you come out and impose these absolutely ridiculous rules on events like this, really all you're doing is you're just trying to make us feel like crap. And I'm not going to fall for it because, as stated already, you are bald.
Hey, I'm Jen's personal AI advert bot, model 882,374,932. Why not become a member to Lobotomy World? You get access to exclusive members-only videos, and it helps support Jen to do her podcast. Or you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/lobotomyworld. Okay, thanks. I need to return back to the computer mainframe world, so I gotta go. Bye now.